So we're gonna grab a club again, and what you're gonna do with the club is put it right on like your hip bones.
Okay.
And then put one foot behind you a little bit.
Okay.
So you're still gonna have some balance there.
Okay.
And then now what I want you to do is rotate into like a backswing position.
Okay, meaning
so
this way?
Yeah.
Okay,
so
but what am I keeping?
Keep this here. Don't let it pull away.
Okay.
And then now you're gonna rotate through that hip. So you're just
trying to keep my knee straight. Does this knee or leg have to stay straight, or can I move?
Fairly straight. It can be a little soft bend.
Can't do it.
That's okay. I just want to see how far your body moves naturally. So don't force it. There you go. So now when you get to that position, go ahead and hold that.
Okay.
So what I'm looking for here is, can you get at least 50 degrees? And you can.
Okay.
Okay. Now stay on that leg and then rotate like you would through your backswing. And again, hold that right here. And I'm looking into like your internal rotation of your hip, and that one's just a little bit limited.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now let's do the same thing on the other leg.
It's another swing flow.
So, if we think about rotation, and we'll look at that in some other positions, if you're a little bit stiff into rotation on your lead hip, you're going to maybe
that's what happens.
Come in
and that's
slide.
Yep.
So no matter how much someone tells you to do something, exactly
mechanical,
like this,
right?
If you don't work on that mobility or the strength, you're not going to be able to.
That explains a major flaw in my golf swing that I've always had.
Okay.
All right, so from here we're
going to backswing again. So you're just rotating through that hip. There you go. Good. So that's internal rotation of that hip, and that's better than the other side. Okay. And then go ahead and go the other way as far as you can.
See, that's weird. The knee can go out a little bit, you said?
Good. All right. So that right one is good both directions.
Okay.
As far as how much mobility. You need. Now this one is interesting with people. If you do this test in a player, and you see that they can, so many people I'll find they can barely go maybe 35 degrees.
Yep.
But then I sit them down and check their mobility, and their mobility is great.
Right.
Then I think back to this, and that tells me that it's because they don't have the strength or stability through their hip to keep on turning.
Okay.
And so if I saw that and just gave them stretching exercises,
it's
that's
not going to
pointless because they have the mobility.
They need to build the strength.
We need to give them strength and stability exercises.
That's my guess.
So I'll still look at your hip when we sit down
and
see how that tests. But make sense?
Yep, sure does.
All right.
Good stuff.
All right, the next one we'll do. Okay, so the next one.
All right, so on the bench?
On the bench.
Okay. This way? Okay.
Okay, and then you're just going to put the club behind you like this.
Okay.
Okay, and then now let's go knees together. We don't want any, that helps to prevent any movement down below.
Okay.
And then now what I want to see is just how far you can turn to the right, and go ahead and look over your shoulder along with it too.
Okay.
Good. You got
try to keep my posture.
Mobility there. I probably yes. Good. So we're looking for at least 45 degrees, 45 to 50 degrees. You have ample mobility up there. And then the other thing I'm looking at is it a little bit different one side to the other? So even though you can go quite far, do you compensate at all on the left compared to the right?
I feel like there's a little bit of compensation on that side.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And you.
Now, is all that because of this?
The first couple times you did, I could even tell your facial expression. You're just trying to push a little bit harder through it. Yeah.
Where I'm just writing it off to old age. But that feels like it's all the same.
On that left side.
Yeah.
Gosh. Tied in together.
That's crazy.
Okay. Now the next one, let's go ahead and rotate as far as you can to the right.
Okay.
And then now try to tip your chin down toward. Good. So we're looking that you get at least halfway down the clavicle there, and then go ahead and rotate this way to the other side, and then same thing, tip down. Looking for symmetry, seeing if there's any pain, if there's any difference side to side with that one. Okay, here what I want to do is look at hip mobility.
Okay.
So actively, I want you to keep a fist between your knees, so go ahead and do that. And then now, just how far can this leg rotate out this way without compensating for your trunk? So I'm just looking at how far that can move.
So I'm trying to get it out further, or?
See if that's good. However far you can get it.
Okay.
Ideally, that you'd be sitting up just a little higher, you know, so we're not quite as far from the floor. But okay, now relax, and I'm just going to see how much more we have passively. Okay, and so I couldn't get it very much further, right? So say I could get it another more than 10 more degrees.
That's the mobility.
It's more of a strength issue.
Correct.
But this is truly a mobility issue.
Correct. Okay.
Okay, and then let's compare it to this side.
Same thing.
And that one goes a little bit further.
Yep.
Definitely looser there. Okay, and then now you can go ahead and relax your hand and then try to turn it the other way where you're just rotating this hip and almost like walking up your shin. So you can keep this straight. I know it's a little bit low, but we're just looking at external rotation of your hip now.
Trying to keep this in place though, right?
Good. Yep, relax. All right, and then this side.
Try to keep this in the same place.
Yeah, basically just don't let your trunk move or compensate. Good. Okay. And that's definitely a good test for that, or passing test.
Okay.
So, no, I wouldn't suspect that was going to be tight from what I saw standing up.
Right.
But you know, I like to run through it all to not miss anything. Okay. Yep. Now, we want to just look at forearm motion. Okay. So I want to see if you can flip all the way up here.
Oh, wow. That was bad. That was not
good.
In as much as you can. Yep. And this is where all my flexibility feels like it comes from.
And then now go elbows at your waist, like this. And then go here, thumbs toward the ceiling. Okay. And then just bring your wrist up. Good. So just looking for if somebody has normal mobility here, if they've had a fracture or something that's limiting them, it might, when you're asking them to
hinge or do something,
or stay in a certain position, that can affect that. And then go ahead and go down. From the way we look at it, if they're limited, where are they going to cheat? You know?
Right, right, because we're going to find,
are they going to need a little more mobility up above to get to that position? Okay. Okay, and then now rotate like this, and then just go up. Looking for enough motion there, and then down. Good. Okay, those are quick and easy tests.
Cool.
Okay, so what I want you to do here is I want your feet a little bit away from the wall. Okay. So now I want you to try to flatten your pelvis to the wall. So your low back I want flat, but then your upper back stays tall. So watch me really quick. So if I'm here, you can like easily put a hand behind my back, but if I go here, you can't. Okay. So I'm not compensating by here. So I'm trying to truly just take my hip bones, roll them back, and flatten. Okay. So you need a little bit of a knee bend to do that. Okay.
So a little bit of knee bend there.
Too much.
What about here?
That's good. Okay.
And back, so shoulders on the wall.
Try to flatten. There you go. Okay, so hold that position and bring your arms straight. Thumbs up toward the ceiling. So I'm gonna kind of monitor your position here. Keep your elbows completely straight, and you're gonna try to lift and touch your thumbs to the wall without losing this position in your back. So get those elbows really straight. And if you can't touch, that's fine. We're just seeing, so see what happens here.
There's a gap there,
Okay, come back down. Okay, nice and flat. And then just stop where we feel when your back starts to arch and compensate.
A little bit there.
Yeah. And your elbows want to bend to cheat. So your body will figure out a way to do it. Yeah. And the way it does it is it has to get mobility from here.
Yeah. Okay. So I felt like they were like right about here, somewhere around in this area. Okay.
So what's limiting that is that the lat muscle that connects from here all the way down your pelvis. Okay. And if we think back and put stuff together with the assessment, you naturally go into a little bit of a S posture, which is called an anterior pelvic tilt. Yep. Your function through everyday life is probably a little bit anterior here, so that kind of tightens the lats there.
Oh,
shuts
man.
down your core. When we get
that's where those spasms are coming from.
Yes. So your core, you're doing all kinds of rotational things and lifting and everything in a position that your core can't really help out as much. Okay. When we get you in a better just overall position and cue in the correct muscles and get them to turn on when they should, it just helps stable. It's like a corset that,
Yep.
internal,
Yep.
instead of putting one on externally.
And that's the lats literally will spaz up.
So now, if you think about going in a backswing, if you're trying to keep that elbow straight and really getting good shoulder turn, we know you have a lot of mobility through your thoracic spine, but what could potentially limit you is now the lat, and you could be, compensating through that. Since you have good torso mobility, you can probably make up for it. A lot of people would not be able to.
Yep.
They would then lift up, either come out of posture, come up here, do all kinds of different little tricks that you see.